Hello there, Nerdbanks. Welcome back to our Aston Martin run. We're halfway through the season, and we're going to continue where we left off. We're about to go to Paul Ricard. But before that, we have a couple of things we need to fix. We have a new regulation vote, apparently. And I believe we also have a school invitation, which we, again, will not attend. It doesn't seem to be anything super special. If it was something like talent scouting, I might join, but this one just seems like a bit of flavor. And because it's the only bit of flavor, I don't really see what the purpose is, but I should probably have a look at the game files. Regulation vote in terms of sporting changes here. Point allocation, of course, we're going for point allocation, why not? No extra points as well. We're going to vote against. I like the current point system. I don't know why the game wants to change it every single season. Bit weird, especially since it always goes through. Austrian Grand Prix, we exceeded expectations. I can't actually remember how we finished. Have a quick look here, calendar. Austrian Grand Prix, previous race results. We actually ended up in the points. Yeah, that's why. We had a good week, as you say. But yeah, the goal here will be very simple. I think we're going to slow down a bit. We're going to do some design, mostly research, and we're gonna slow down this first season a little bit so it doesn't end up as Williams said, where we dominate everything from season 2 and onwards. This might still happen even if I purposefully slow down, so fair warning there. But yeah, we got the school done, we got the regulation mode done. Hopefully we will not have changed how points work, but again, kind of hard to estimate here. We have a research going for both our wings and chassis. And honestly, I can live with this. In terms of warehouse, I'm just double checking that everything is in order to be safe. And yeah, I think we're good here. Again, we're going to try and get 8th place. That will be the goal. If we end up higher, so be it. But 8th place will be the goal itself. Now, CFD Simulator has been upgraded, which is actually beneficial to us. Do we want to upgrade it again? I don't think so. We have 16 million to go on. The science center will be done in 2 months, and we also have the summer break within these 2 months. If we want to directly upgrade it to level 5, we're going to need, I think, 32 million. So we do not have any extra money to spare here, sadly. We need to save every penny. Let's have a quick look on how our vote went. Yes, for once the teams actually voted against. Yeah, I have no big problems with that point system. I just feel like the current one is a lot more fun. A lot more... there's more horses in the fight, although top 6 might be more reliable, if you will. We've had some good performances here, but I'm a little bit hesitant to go above 15th. Because, again, we are developing our car slowly. And that makes it kind of hard to go all in. But... we'll try 15th or above. We might see if we have another good result here. We might go a bit more aggressive on our goals. But for now, that's what we're sticking to. There we are. The end of a disappointing for us French Grand Prix. 14th and 17th. I put Alonso on a 2-stopper. Soft, medium. Didn't work out. Couldn't get himself onto the DRS train further up the field. And because of that extra pit stop, he lost out. But Vettel did a decent race here. He gained some positions. He managed to climb a little bit. And that's generally what we like to see. In terms of the other teams here, we have Red Bull 1st and 4th. We have Ferrari 2 and 3. AlphaTauri 5th and 10th. Mercedes 6th and 8th. And Alpine 7th and 9th. So all points shared between 5 teams. And with that, the Driver Championship has 2 changes. Russell up to 6th. Stroll up to 13th. And the Constructor Championship has no real changes here. Red Bull, Ferrari still out in top here. Ferrari now still maintaining that little advantage they have, but Red Bull catching up. But at this rate, they will not make it in time with 3 points to race. Mercedes, pretty much undisputed 3rd here, but Alpine and AlphaTauri now are equal. We'll have to see how that develops. Development-wise, not much to write home about, as usually is the things. And as you see here, we failed to reach Q2, and as a result, we suffered a bit of a monetary loss there, but I can live with it. It was my mistake. We have designed a new chassis. And we have a board review. They have high confidence. That is good, even after that shitty result. We're going to upgrade his reactions, as we usually do. Pace stats is what I focus on first. We're going to manufacture these 4 chassis. We will not have one for Hungary. And that is okay. We don't need to waste money on it. Currently, we have a look at a warehouse here. I manufactured chassis, front wing, rear wing we have not. Side pods we have not. I'm thinking we do side pods and then maybe a rear wing. We could start a rear wing because then it will be done by... well, we can't start one. We also have CFD time. But I could put into, say, a side pod here, but I don't think we will. It has so few stats, so the CFD isn't as effective as it could be. What we could do, though, is put all this time into a new underfloor. Because currently, our expertise, as you can see, has increased by 13% from the one that we have fitted. And if we increase it further, then I believe things should look really good. Did we do an underfloor research project here? We did not, but we can have a quick look here to see what we can expect. We'll get a little bit more, since this is a design project with intense, than we would researching. Researching is just cheaper. And gave you a little bit less, but still decent. But currently we have 56% expertise here. This would gain us about 8% more. We'd gain about the same here. 6.5%. A bit more here. And 8% here. 8.5%. And 8.5%. So, as you can see, just this little bit of an underfloor upgrade is quite beneficial. So, what we might do here, even though I said I didn't want to go too hard on it, is that we might actually just go ahead and design a new underfloor. Because it's just that important for your car. It's so important that I've been tempted to try a underfloor only challenge, where the only thing I design each season is an underfloor. And anything else is done by researching balance, if that even. Just have one design slot do underfloors over and over again. But yeah, as you can see here, the stats here don't really match up to the ones that we saw in the research, and that is very simple. We have other projects that we've ran intense design on. We also have done a little bit of research. And because of that, the stats for next season's car will be better than our current season, even with this underfloor upgrade. But I think we are going to also slap all the sliders to the right, as we usually do. You can see here, that increases the stats a bit here, honestly. And as I said, I think we are going to do this. We're going to slap it on to intense. And it's going to cost a decent amount of money, but I feel like it's worth it. And again, this might be going against what I said at the start of the video. We don't want to get going too quick. But it's just it's so optimal. That's the thing. I hate not doing things efficiently. And the most efficient way of doing this is, again, well, it's not that I hate not doing things efficiently. I hate when there is a clear, efficient, good, and basically best route in front of me, and I want to walk somewhere else. I just can't do that. If the choice is the best one, I can't stop myself. Apologies. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to kidnap a engineer or two from, I guess, our rear wing research project here, because the underfloor is just that important to us. And with this, it'll be done, as you can see, a bit earlier, 8th of October. And with 8th of October being done for that underfloor, how will we look in terms of the calendar? Where will we be 8th of October? We'll be at the race weekend. Okay, so we'll not get it for Japanese Grand Prix. We'll get it for Coda, Mexico, and the last 4 races, basically. So potentially we could score points there. Well, score points, score podiums if we really want to with this underfloor. But I think it's fine. We'll have an upgraded underfloor for the last 4 races. If we have a bad second half now, we can make something out of that. We also have the design building coming in soon, I believe. Design center here in 50 days. And that will give us more engineers, so I can live with that. Next race here is on the docket, Hungarian Grand Prix, Hungaroring. Once again, we're just going to do the same thing we did last time, and hopefully we'll be able to pull it off. I think we should be able to, but if we do not, then I will be very, very sad. Here we are at the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Ferrari 1-2, Red Bull 3-4, Alfa Romeo scoring points there with the 5th place, AlphaTauri with 6th and 9th, Mercedes only 7th, Ocon and Stroll 8th and 10th for Alpine. We ended up 13th and 14th, which is it's all right. It's not points, but it's a good position to end in. We had both Haas's, Williams, and McLaren behind us. In terms of driver championship, not really much change here. Valtteri Bottas moves up against Russell, and Sainz is gaining on Verstappen. So currently, Leclerc looks like he had it in the bag, but we'll have to see if we get some Ferrari strategy going. Constructors, Ferrari is widening the gap. Red Bull is maintaining 2nd. And as you can see, not really much is changing, except for AlphaTauri now overtaking Alpine, due to them having equal points before this race. Goal-wise, we actually gained a point. That's usually how things go. And once again, we couldn't reach Q2. Bad quality by me again. 16 was the best we could do, so potentially AI has upgraded the cars. Or there's been a patch that I haven't noticed, but I kind of doubt that. Currently, our long-term objective is to score points in half of the season races. So we've scored points in 4 races so far. Target position is 8th, we're currently 7th. The board should be happy. And they have granted a little bit of extra funds. Now, Vettel, we're going to increase your braking, because that is what I will do. Car development report, 15th, 13th, 19th, 19th, 17th, 19th. Again, we're last in a lot here. We're 2nd last in some things as well. 3rd last in a few things. And even, well, a little bit higher in low-speed cornering. But these stats are not great. Hopefully we can improve. We have the Belgian Grand Prix in 25 days. And we'll be bringing a new chassis there. Which, the real-life scenario was you couldn't do within the cost cap. So, game not realistic. Boardroom here. I think we don't care that it's degraded, honestly. Because race confidence gain, I'm not too bothered about it. Our board is good. We are having good results, so we don't need to be worried about that. Front wing research has been completed. Do I just want to do another front wing research right away? I think that we might do that. Currently, we are still lacking a little bit here. We're actually going to lose a bit of expertise. So, I think if we do that, we focus like this. We once again throw brake cooling to the winds. And we're just going to run it normally here. I believe we have one engineer for this. So, yeah, we'll just run it as we normally do. We'll gain a little bit of a boost for next year. And we'll speed along here for the Belgian Grand Prix. Wind tunnel has been upgraded. Financially, I would like to start another upgrade, but we still need 7 more million for our design center. And it's just that much worth to have 4 projects going at any given time that it will probably do more than having your wind tunnel and your CFD at maximum. Race prep Belgian Grand Prix. Let us go into our warehouse, look for our chassis. And as you can see, it's not a huge upgrade, but it is an upgrade. So let's lap it on both cars. Also take a quick look here on car analysis versus Alpha, because we were kind of keeping up. And as you can see, their car is vastly better than ours. We should not be able to keep up with them. That's really what I'm getting from this. Performance targets, we're once again going to gamble on 15th. We're not going to reach Q3. We could potentially, but we will not try that. Fastest lap, I don't think we'll go for that either. It's a tempting one, but a difficult one for us, really. We just finished the Belgian Grand Prix. Sainz and Leclerc ends up 1-3. Mercedes with a 2-6. Alpine scoring points over the 4th place is very good for them. Bottas 5th for Alpha. AlphaTauri 7th and 9th. Joe for Alfa Romeo 8th. Norris in 10th. And we had a really bad race in 18th and 19th. Verstappen crashed out very early. So Vettel had a spin after a safety car. We put him in the back. Alonso was in the points, but then he locked up and hit the wall, sadly, so that put him way off, unfortunately. Not much we could do about that. We almost got the Williams after the accidents that we had, but sadly couldn't do it. I was a bit too passive. As a driver championship, we have Ferrari now 1-2, with Sainz moving up. Other than that, no real changes. Constructors, Ferrari is tightening its grip on the Championship, as you can see. First didn't score points either for Red Bull, so they're falling further behind. And Alpine now is gaining on AlphaTauri. They're just 1 point away from each other. And we still need McLaren here to score, well, 8 points potentially to get them ahead of us. That, of course, is if we do not score points at all. In terms of development here, as you can see, no big changes. How it usually goes. We lose a bit more money here because we failed the finish position streak. Because we, of course, had both our drivers crash out and none of them finish above 15th. Not really anything we can do about that. It's just how things go sometimes. Chassis has been manufactured. It was a difficult race. And, well, it was a difficult race due to driver error, sadly. So, not really too much we could do about that. In terms of rear wing next year, we're going to get a 13% increase, as you can see. And I think we'll do one more rear wing. And then we might start focusing a little bit on the smaller parts. But for now, we need to keep the rear wing within touching distance, I dare say, of the underfloor, which we're currently developing. So, as you can see here, we'll get up to 18%, up to 19, -3, of course. So, we're still looking for good gains here, especially stat-wise too. I think we can be happy. Let's get our 3 engineers on it. And I believe we very soon will have our upgrade here to the design center. 10 days left, which means we either get it after this race, or, you know, the Italian Grand Prix. So we'll probably get it on, yeah, 12th of September. So we have 2 races to go on, which should give us more than enough money to upgrade, luckily. Board confidence is still happy even with the bad race last time out. Car development, no real changes, I believe. We have lost some cooling, so a bit of an ouchie, but we can live with it. And honestly, I'm not going to do anything qualifying. We're going to gamble on, once again, top 15 over 5 races, 1 driver. It should be doable. We usually are able to gain that much. Let's see how it goes. We have just finished the Dutch Grand Prix, as you can see. Ferrari 1-2, Mercedes 3-4, Red Bull 5-6, Alfa Romeo 7th and 10th, and then AlphaTauri and Alpine finish out the points. We had a pretty bad one. 17th for Alonso, 19th for Vettel, and just generally, I think just didn't work out for us. Drivers' Championship, we have Russell up into 6th now, overtaking Bottas. They'll probably switch back and forth a couple more times for the end of the season, I would assume. And Constructors, we have no changes here. Ferrari pulling further ahead. We have Mercedes gaining a little bit on Red Bull, and AlphaTauri gaining a few more points to get away from Alpine, really. Development-wise, once again, just how we're getting points. Usually how it would be. I think we're going to cancel out this performance guarantee now. We had some good races where it really helped us, but now I think we lost a lot of money on it. We have fallen a bit behind, in all honesty, and we need to try and get back on that. But again, as long as Haas and Williams doesn't score points, we're really happy with how things are. Again, I am trying to not end up in 4th like I did with Williams. So we are limiting ourselves, but I might have limited myself a little bit too much. We have a regulation vote here for financial changes to the cost cap. Honestly, we're just going to vote against it. Even if we vote for it, doesn't really matter. We have more ATR, which we will be using on, I guess, one of the wings, maybe. And we had a difficult race at Sandward, which is understandable. And with that, I think we're ready for the Italian Grand Prix. Let's set up our performance goals here. Qualifying, yeah, and I think we're just going to skip all of these because we've been failing them consistently. And with that, let's get ready for the Italian Grand Prix. We just finished the Italian Grand Prix Monza. It was a very eventful race. We ended up with both cars in the points, as you can see, 9th and 10th. We had Sainz crash out at lap 24, bringing out a safety car. We had Russell crash out at lap 44, bringing out a red flag. Honestly, the safety car helped us a decent amount, but the red flag didn't. We were on hards that would have outpaced the medium runners in front of us, so potentially we could have ended up in high point scoring positions. Potentially we could have ended up at the same ones, but in general, I'd say it was a good race, all things considered. We have Verstappen here, and Norris came together after the red flag. And that's why they are so far down the timesheet here. And we have Perez winning, Leclerc second, Hamilton third, and the surprise here with Stroll and Ocon for Alpine in fourth and fifth. Stroll here actually had a 5-second penalty. He luckily he was able to hang on to the cars in front, which saved him there. Magnussen scoring points for Haas, Alfa Romeo getting 7 and 8, and as I said, we've taken the other 2-point scoring positions. Latifi here with the 13th is kind of impressive, but still 20 seconds behind in what amounts to, 8 laps. That's worrisome. Driver Championship, we have Bottas, Ocon, Stroll and Magnussen moving up, Gasly and Russell down. And, well, Ocon is now square on points with Gasly, so not really a big move. Constructors, Alpine overtakes AlphaTauri. They scored a lot of points this weekend with their 4th and 5th. And with that, I think we're ready to continue. No big surprises. We gained 3 points. And again, we'll hope that McLaren can do something. Development point here for Alonso. He had a good race, all things considered. And we have driver bonuses here for battle. Finish 10th or higher. That's expensive. We should actually... I should actually just renegotiate that deal earlier. Science Center has been improved. That's what we've been waiting for. We're going to stop a point in cornering for Alonso. And regulation votes. The cost cap has gone through. We're going to have a 5 million less to play with next season. But I don't think we're going to reach the cost cap next season anyway. So again, it doesn't really matter for us. We've saved up the money here. We're going to be upgrading the Science Center. It'll take 134 days. We're just currently being in September. Let's have a look here. October, November, December. So we'll get it sometime in January here. You can see. So it's not that bad. We're going to get it at the start of the next season. We're going to lose 24 days, which means we have about 50 days of development time probably on this one. So we could potentially get out a wing. So it's not the worst thing we could do. Now, we also do have exceeding expectations for the race. Good. We did get more engineers. So we need to go into an engineering team and we need to hire them. Because they're actually very cheap, honestly. 6,600 per month. I wish I could boost this to get better engineers, if that makes sense. Would make things a bit more interesting. Task development, current project. Let us go and, again, we're going to balance the engineers here to some degree. We're going to put probably 3 in here, at least. And maybe 2 in here. It's a longer project. And once the underfloor comes out, we're going to balance the these two. But again, we're doing this so that we can get it out in time. More or less. And with that, I think we're off to the next race. I don't think I have anything else I need to do. Because I'm pretty sure we didn't get any new projects. No, we're good. Alga development. He actually has 3 points. Let's put them all in reactions as we usually do. Need to boost that. And we are actually running a low stock of underfloor. But seeing that we have new underfloors coming in just 2-3 races time. Yeah, 2 races time. We're going to do these 2. And then we're going to have the underfloor. I'm going to gamble on us not damaging the underfloor during those 2 races. That'll be the hope at least. But now that I see that it's Singapore, I feel like I've made a horrible mistake. Let's see if we can safely get through Singapore. If not, we're going to have to use an old underfloor, which is going to hurt a lot. And we don't want to do this. We qualified outside of the top 15. 17 and 18 last time. So we aren't going to do these because they are not... They're not based on our skill. They're based on circumstances during the race. They're based on other cars crashing, safety cars, and just opportunities taken. Which is a part of racing, don't get me wrong, but it's not something we can predict. Now, with Singapore, we can kind of predict it, but at the same time, it could also really, really cause problems for us. So we're not going to take any performance incentives. We'll probably take more next season. And with that, we're off to Singapore. Here we are with the results of Singapore. As you can see, we finished 8th. Could have probably done better, but I got fooled by the strategy view, which is my mistake. Apparently there's a bug with the Haas M1.9. I would assume that is pretty agrarious and annoying. But it's my bad, I should have realized that it was too good to be true. Now with that, we finished 8th and 13th, which is still pretty good. We had our start position moved up from qualifying. We qualified 15th and 18th, but we got moved up due to other teams taking penalties. Verstappen won. Perez sadly crashed out, but that's just racing sometimes. We also had a few other crashes, but everyone else survived, Schumacher among them. Russell is also another victim. He basically didn't have a rear wing, but is still raced. Ferrari 2-3 though, Alfa Romeo 4-6, Mercedes 5th, Haas 7th, Alpine and AlphaTauri the last 2 point scoring positions. And with this, we have no changes to drivers, although Verstappen is catching up, but he just has way too little time to do it. We need a couple of Leclerc's DNFs if we want to make this even semi-interesting during these last 5 races. Constructors, no changes here. Again, Ferrari should have this one in the bag. 5 races to go, 150 points. They could theoretically lose it, but it's going to be difficult to make that happen. We will probably get 7th, and if we are that underfloor does wonders for us, we might even get 6th. So we'll have to see how that goes. Development-wise, what you'd expect again. 4 million in the bank is nice to see. Extra money is extra money. We will not say no thank you. And with this, can we upgrade some car development facilities? Wind tunnel or CFD? We could potentially upgrade, but it also risks the risk of running, you know, negative money. So we'll have to consider how we want to do this. We also have, you know, hours remaining. We have 80 hours here, or 80 units, if you will. And CFD sim, we have 6 or 60 units because it goes in 0.1 increments. So you have more wind tunnel time than you have CFD time, but it's basically 25% more. And the gain here is honestly, I don't think it's high enough to warrant that over the CFD. I think they're pretty much, they're not far from equal anyways, so it doesn't matter which one we upgrade. We're going to do CFD first, and then we're going to do wind tunnel, I think. We're also going to try and save up so we have about 10-15 million at the end of the season, just to be safe. Monthly car development report. As you can see, we have a car that isn't good. We're last in a lot of the stats. Well, most of the stats really. Second last in a couple here, and third last in just one. So us getting points is actually kind of amazing. Vettel's contract ends soon, coming to an end in 3 months. If we want to renew it now, how much would we have to pay? 1.7 million. Okay, we might have to, we'll probably have to renew Vettel's contract at the end of the next race weekend at Suzuka, simply because I want to keep him. So with that said, we're not going to go for any performance targets. We're still a bit too unreliable. It'll have to do with penalties for the other teams and also the events during the race. So we'll not go for any extra performance bonuses. Let's go to Suzuka. We have just finished a dreadful race in Japan. I made as many mistakes as one could do. From the bad qualifying that put us last, 19 and 20th, to penalties that pulled us a little bit forward. Didn't really help. And then at the end here, I decided to stay out when I should have pitted, because we had rain towards the end. I thought it wouldn't clear up enough for slicks, but the slicks were about 10 seconds faster a lap, so I should have seen that one coming and pitted like everyone else. But before that, we weren't that good. We were up into 13th, I believe was the best position, so not great. It wouldn't have been a good result anyway, so I can live with that mistake. Ferrari 1-3, Red Bull 2-6, and with that, I believe Ferrari has Saddleboat Championship basically. Gasly 4th here for AlphaTauri, Hamilton and Russell 5th and 8th. Alpine scoring points with Ocon, Alfa Romeo with Bottas, Alpine with Stroll again. So a good season for Alpine, really. Driver Championship, we have Gasly moving up past Ocon. And in the constructors here, Alpine is kind of potentially catching up to Alpha, but they need a few better, you know, point scoring sessions to these last 4 races here. We'll have to see how that plays out. As you can see from the development here, the race points here, bad race, really disappointing from Alonso, but that's my fault, not his. 3.8 million made. It's a good amount of money for us. And there we are. The underfloor is now complete. We're currently running out of contract time with Vettel, but we're gonna sign a new one at the end of the season, I think. We're gonna manufacture this underfloor. It takes 5 days, 11 days. So we'll just barely have it in time if we do this. If we rush them, we'll have them in good time, but we will not be able to make an extra part. So we're just gonna do them normally, 4 pieces. And we'll have to ask Vettel really nicely to not destroy any more underfloors, really. We're also going to go ahead and start a new project. Do we want to do design or do we want to do research? I think we're at the point where we need to do just research, because we could do design. But what we could also do here for fun is just pump out an underfloor that is way better than anything our opponents can do next season. That could also be actually quite fun, just because of that. And as you can see now, we currently have 65% on drag reduction. We have... what would this translate to? Well, you'd have to split it in two, so 60, 67.5 there too. A little bit less here, and a little bit more here, 63%. So we are getting up there. Our underfloor is getting good. If we have a look at... I wish we could have a look at the front wing and the rear wing. We can't really. Suspension is 44... Again, still not great. 44, 45. It's starting to lag a little bit too far behind. I guess the same goes for the side pods here. Yeah, 40, 40. And again, we don't care too much about cooling. Chassis, 40. What I'm thinking we do here is actually do some designing. Because, say, we design a chassis here with... like so. For the pure purposes of not really improving our car this season, but improving the expertise for next season, we could do that. But we still need money. So I think we do some research on side pod, suspension, chassis with this slot. And we'll have to see here how long is it until we get a front wing. We get a front wing in 11 days. So we can fire up a front wing project then if we want to with the current ATR period. Because I believe it expires in 20 days is what it said. 21 days, so we can even do rear wing if you want to, but I think we'll do front wing. So we'll play it safe here, we'll do research, we'll save a bit of money. We'll get a project in here for... I don't want to use my hours, that's not what I wanted to do. That's me being silly. And I think we'll just do what we usually do. Again, we are going to forego cooling here right now. Accidents happen, they'll happen even at high, but as soon as an accident happens, it's going to ruin your race. I'd rather have us be in a better position to start with. And as you can see, even doing this for the suspension isn't that big of a boost. If we do the same for, say, the underfloor with no research, how big would the boost be in comparison? Quite a bit more, but also it takes a bit longer, so I honestly don't know. What is the correct choice here? Kind of hard to guess, really. I'm thinking that what we do is... we leave the underfloor as is. That should be fine. And we'll do some research for side pods, chassis, things that basically are lagging behind more than the others. So I'm thinking we do side pods first. We'll do chassis and what's it called? Suspension later. But for now, we'll try and get these two, well, these 3 pieces up to 50%, I think. Expertise, that should be okay. 5 engineers should be more than enough. We'll get the engineers split up as they should be again. Put 1 more here on the front wing project. And that should just cut it by nothing, really. So we could have borrowed that engineer on something else, but I'm going to be lazy. So yeah, we'll have to see now just how much improvement can we get from that underfloor that we have just ordered. I know we are manufacturing a new underfloor, don't worry about it. And we also have research completed here for the front wing. So, team hub in poor condition. Hospitality in poor condition. I can live with this being poor condition for now. Call center 2. The weather center. We already have bad forecasts, so what I'm thinking is we probably just upgrade this, honestly. It's a bit expensive. We don't have that much money to play with right now, but upgrading it should be okay. Race sim, I would like to refurbish this. Same with team hub, but for now we can allow it to deteriorate a little bit further. And Yeah, I think that's okay. It's not the optimal solution, but it's what we're gonna have to do because we're poor and want to focus car progress, if you will. Research benefit here from what we did to the front wing here, 4% across the board it looks like, except for cooling. Pretty good. And if we do this for the front wing, how would it look in terms of gain? Pretty decent, all things considered. 13, so 7.5 here. We are like lagging a little bit behind, as you can see, with 40, would be 55% expertise after the regulation changes with this. So I'd say we do this to the front wing for now. And we can even boost it a little bit by doing cooling down, everything else up. We usually do. So I'm thinking we do this for the front wing. The research benefit will go from 8 to 17%. Gaining is almost 10. And with 17% to add to that, we will be looking good. Yeah, I think we'll do this. It'll help us out in the long run. That is the goal. And of course, the car for next season is what we're prioritizing, really. And because we will not be able to make any more of this one, even if we put all engineers in here, we will not be able to make another piece in 14 days. So we're going to put it at the perfect time here. We'll get a maximum amount of expertise we can out of this research project. And we now have engineers that we can place other places if we need to, which we will, because there's no reason not to. Put in 6 engineers for both of these projects here. I'm not allowed to because we don't have enough money to do that, even though it doesn't cost anything. That is a bit annoying. But we can put one on the side pod project, and even so, the rail wing here. Even if you put an engineer on it, it's not gonna make it go quicker. There's just a little time left. Performance targets. We could try, but I want to see just how the car behaves first. So let us go into our warehouse here, into our underfloor, and see how much better this one is. So as you can see already, we are gaining about 4% low speed cornering, almost 5% medium, almost 5% high speed as well. So we are gaining a lot of stats here. 0.3 kph top speed. It might not sound like much, but everything helps. So if we do this, let's now have a quick look at the analysis. How does our car look now compared to the rest of the field? So with that upgrade to the underfloor alone, remember, most of our stats were dead last. We're still lacking in cornering, but we aren't dead last anymore. We're moving up. We're now in the top 5, really, for low speed cornering. And the cornering here is going up. We're lacking a bit of top speed, but the front wing too, once that is done for next season, is going to help out a lot. So I think we're looking good. In terms of how good is our underfloor compared to the rest of the track field, we almost have the best underfloor here. And if we keep on focusing it, we can probably, that would actually be a good challenge, honestly. How far can you get developing only the underfloor? That could be a hilarious challenge, but I think we might add something to it. Like, you can only do underfloor and maybe suspension, chassis, and side pods, just to make it a little bit interesting. It could definitely be possible. But let's go to United States Grand Prix and see how we do with that new underfloor installed. United States Grand Prix just finished, and we had a new underfloor, which instantly showed what we could do. In qualifying, we qualified 8th and 15th. 15th for Vettel, 8th for Alonso. But sadly, Alonso got rear-ended by a Mercedes during the race. We ended up retiring him due to him having minor damage to the rear wing, major damage to suspension, and a puncture, which he would have to run a whole lap with before he could pit. So I made a decision that instead of, being a backmarker for the rest of the race and just wasting engine durability and other components durability, we would just retire him, especially with that rear wing damage and suspension damage. If it wasn't for that, we'd probably have given it a go. Now, Vettel did a good race. 6th place is fairly good for him, let's be honest. He did start in 9th, I believe. Yeah, started 9th due to penalties. Alonso actually started 4th. There was potential for a podium, but it would have been difficult with facing Ferrari and Red Bull. 5th place would definitely have been on the table for him, though, which is quite disappointing with that in regard. Ferrari has clinched the title. Red Bull should be safe in second, really. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Mercedes 5th. Alfa Romeo 6th. Sorry, 7th. AlphaTauri 8th. And then we had McLaren's finishing out the points. With this, Joe moves up to 10th, past Alonso. And Vettel moves up to 14th, past, well, these 3 lads. Constructors, no real changes. We gain an extra 8 points, which makes that I don't think McLaren can catch up to us. We will probably finish 7th, which would be good. We'll have to see if Haas can do something with McLaren towards the end, and potentially Alpine and AlphaTauri, but other than that, I'd say the rest of these positions are more or less set in stone. Let's continue. We have research complete in 5 days. We have the Mexican Grand Prix before that. We pay a lot of money to Vettel whenever he comes into the top 10s, so I'm thinking that we do renegotiate his contract. I'm gonna have to see what kind of bonus he wants. That's gonna be the first goal here. Let us renew our contract. 4 seasons, 15 million should be okay. Let's bump it maybe a little bit to 200. Give him, I don't know, 5%, 750, 60. See how that works out. Because I want to keep him, but I'm feeling he might be a bit too expensive for us. So let's see how he feels about a 1.5 million bonus for getting him first. We might have to bump that up to 2 million, which is going to become expensive really fast and really going to hamper development, because race target bonus is probably one of the worst things you can do in this game, because you develop just so quickly that even this in my team will pay out more than salary really quickly. So let's see how he feels about this contract of ours. I believe we had a look at it earlier this season. Yeah, so he's happy with the bonus, but he's not happy with it being first. Let's keep everything as is, because I want the bonus threshold to be first. He's not going to be coming first a lot, because we have a better second driver in terms of pace stats. Let's try and bump this up to 1 million. And see how he feels about this, because hopefully if we get the sign-on bonus into the green, I would hope that would be enough for him to accept the contract. Let's try and bump this a bit further. We only have 2 more chances. Let's go 1.3, and then we'll go, I guess, 1.6. But the problem is we are going to run out of money we can offer at some point. Oh, that hurts a lot. We could go 1.7 million maybe. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is because he's going to finish top 10, most likely in the last 3 races as well. It's going to cost me, if he does, it's going to cost me 4.5 million. So let's gamble with this. We still have a little bit more money to go on. Honestly, let's just go all in here. There's no reason not to. Put in 2 million here. Like so. And let's see how he feels about this. He agreed to this, so... Did I actually remove this race target bonus completely? No. I believe he wouldn't accept it without the race target bonus, funnily enough. I read something on Reddit about that. Someone offered him like 30 million and he was still, no, I wanted my race target bonus. Yeah, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be expensive, but only when he wins. And other than that, it's not gonna be that much more. It's 1 million extra a year. And that's why we can keep him for at least 4 more seasons. We're gonna renew his contract, and we're also gonna put a point right into braking. There we are. Let's see, we have 2 years for Alonso, 3 years for Vettel. Well, 2 years, how many months is more like it? 24, so yeah, 2 more years of racing for him. It doesn't actually take that high of a salary, all things considered. I know that I signed him, but still, he's quite cheap to have running for your team. Next up is Mexico. We're just gonna continue right into it. Let's see here. We should have the race coming up right away. And once again here, I don't think we'll really do anything. We did renew Vettel's contract last time. He now has a 1.5 million when he comes first. So we're gonna race Alonso hard to try and save money here and protect ourselves from having to pay out this too often. It'll be the goal at least. Other than that, I don't think there was anything else. We will be ready here for the Mexican Grand Prix. Again, I will not be doing anything guaranteed. I think we should... You know what, we can actually do some guarantees here. Q3, probably not, but at least one drive in top 15 shouldn't be a problem. One driver top 15 shouldn't be a problem. And there's just 3 races to go. What we could gamble on is, say, 1 driver, 3 races, 12th position or better. We're going to gamble on that for fun. We can probably do better, but it's more of a, what am I willing to risk? Let's go to Mexico. We just finished the Mexican Grand Prix. As you can see, we ended up with 8th and 13th. Down 1 position when we started for both our drivers. Didn't really work out too well with the double stop. Didn't have the pace I expected on those mediums. But we could have made something work here. I should have been a bit more flexible. Tried drivers on different strategies, really. But all in all, decent race for us. We don't want too much from this season, so I can live with this. No damage to our cars is basically what we're going for here, so we don't have to go for extra parts. Ferrari 1-2, Red Bull 3-4, Mercedes 5th and 7th, Alfa Romeo 6th and 9th, as well as Haas finishing out the points in 10th, and us in 8th. All in all, a decent race. No real incidents. And as you can see from driver standings here, no changes. And same for constructors, no changes there either. Development point for Hauge, very good. Sadly none for our boys, but with the lower growth potential they have, can't really expect that. And we made a bit of extra money here from qualifying position streak and reached Q2. We had a man in Q3. What is... Alonso qualified 8th to begin with. That's a bit worrisome. It wouldn't give me my money. Racing research has been completed. And with that, we're gonna, of course, start something new. We also have an ATR period starting today. So what we could do with this one is probably another, put the ATR into the rear wing. Simply because I don't think we'll have proper time to do an underfloor. It'll just take too long. We basically have 2 months left. So even doing a rear wing like this is going to be pushing it a bit, honestly. And as you can see, most of our expertise in the rear wing isn't actually realized in the car right now. More than about half of it is in potential research benefits. So next season, our car will be a lot better in terms of speed and acceleration potentially. So this is what we'll be going for. As you can see, 27% total gain here, 25% gain here, 30% gain here, high speed total, but we're going to lose 12. And then we have 58 shared with 2, 29% here, but we're going to lose 7.5%. Again, need to split this number in 2. So all in all, we're going to get quite a substantial gain on the rear wing here next season. And you can see it here too. It's not as good as the underfloor, but it's still quite decent. And again, here the goal will be to just finish as close to the deadline as possible. Get the most expertise out of it. We could do something like, say, take the airflow here, tune it down 1 day. And honestly, I think that will pay off better in terms of expertise gain for the entire team. We'll get 3 more days of research. It won't be a lot more. It'll be minimally more, but I feel like it's worth it. So we'll do that to maximize. And with that, we currently have projects for front wing. We have projects for rear wing, side pods. And as I said, this slot will be used to research the smaller projects right now. And we're happy with the underfloor that we have now into the next season, I think. Let us just get on with this. Car development report. As you can see, our car is better. It's not a lot better, but it is better. That is nice. It's still not good enough to routinely get 8, 6, 7 like we usually do. That is an interesting one to keep in mind. We're gonna wait with actually refurbishing the helipad here, because we can just refurbish it right before the Grand Prix in Bahrain. It's just 2 races left. And we'll not be able to, that 1% will not be too much of a problem. Suspension is cheap to manufacture, so we'll manufacture one to be safe. I can live with that. And again, we want to save money because we're going to need some money for engine supply next season, and we're going to need some money for the projects that we're going to do in the well, the downtime, if you will, the 3 months before the first race starts. So we need to have money there so we can actually make the pieces that we want. So we're gonna gamble on reaching Q2 here with one driver. Vettel didn't actually make it into Q2 last time. And qualifying position of top 10 for one of our drivers. We're just gonna go all in with that gamble. One driver in the top 10 again. Well, top 12 last time, top 10 this time. And we're gonna try and get a little bit of extra money for the start of next season. With that, we're off to Sao Paulo. We just finished what was a pretty bad race for us in Sao Paulo. But before that, Red Bull 1-3, Ferrari 2-4, Mercedes 5-7, Bottas and Show 6-9 for Alpha, Ocon for Alpine, and Gasly for AlphaTauri are our point scorers. We ended up 14th and 18th. Sadly, Alonso had a also up into 7th place. Then he had a lockup on turn 1 and got a puncture, front wing damage, suspension damage, and I believe chassis damage as well, which completely put him out of contention. By the time he had pitted and gotten that new set of tires, new front wing, he was virtually out of the race. Vettel just doesn't have the pace. We need to give him a little bit of a better car, I think. But that's just how things are, really. There's a driver championship, no changes. There's constructors, no changes. And that's that. No real development. We do lose money here due to, you know, the finish position failure, qualifying failure, position streak failure. So that's on me. I had a hope there. We would have gotten 2 of them done had it not been for Alonso's little accident, but that stuff happens, can't really blame him. Weather center has been upgraded. There we are. And what else do we want to do? I don't think we really have anything in particular. We have development for Hauge. Gonna go straight into reactions. Need to get that up. And he also leveled up his overall to 71. Now, ERS in poor condition here for Vettel is just something that he's gonna have to live with. We have one more race this season, which we are gonna be saving money because we have the engine. I'm not sure what engine we'll go with. I think Red Bull, as usual, it's just more power. And managing the engine and parts isn't really that difficult. Taking 1 penalty or 2 penalties a season is completely viable, I feel like, a way of doing things. So that's my thoughts on that. Side pod research finished. We're going to get research on suspension going. Again, we need to also research some of these smaller parts. You won't get a lot of, as you can see, expertise from this, but it's a little bit and it helps. And that is really the goal. And we can start focusing a bit harder, potentially next season. We're going to be putting 6 engineers on this because we can. I don't know if this will be enough time to actually get another project out. So maybe what we do instead is do the side pods, maybe. And we put the focus all in, like so. How we're looking for end time? January, December, there we are. And we could potentially do this. How much would that be? 0.5 percentage point. I'd say we do this. It's fine. We could try and get a little bit of cooling here because, again, cooling might actually have an effect on engine wear. So we might want to actually up that a little bit. But then again, I don't think that makes sense if you think about how... If you consider the AI, how many penalties they take, how much wear there is on their engines. Then again, they don't probably wear the engines down to 20%, 0% like we do in practice. But even if they go 20%, they still take a lot of penalties. They might need to have a look into that. But we'll do side pods here. And that should actually be all the projects that we'll have time for this season. And with that, we can just speed along here to the final race in 2 days over in Abu Dhabi. So again, we'll not do any performance targets here. We're in that very weird spot with that car, I feel. So we have a little bit of money. We'll get 3-4 million probably at the end of this race anyways. And that should be enough to tide us over into next season. And also hopefully enough that we can get the research we want for next season, the signs going for next season, which would be the underfloor, the front wing, and then probably the 3 smaller parts as well. With that said though, let's go to Abu Dhabi. We could have done better here. If I'd done, again, the pit stops a bit better, Strategy was a bit off. That's on me. But a good race, all things considered. Verstappen and Perez 1-4. Ferrari 2-3. Mercedes 5-6. McLaren 7th. Alfa Romeo 8th. We were 9th. And Haas in 10th. Sebastian Vettel 14th. Alpine actually at the end. Yeah, of course he crashed out. That makes sense. For our championship, we have no changes, which means Alonso... Well, we have changes down here. Norris moves up. But Vettel finishes in 15th. Alonso in 11th. And for the first season here, we end up 7th, which isn't really where we wanted to end. We wanted to end a bit lower. We deliberately played it slow by doing research instead of design. But I still think this was a good season, all things considered. Sponsorships, a little bit extra money here from the qualifying position streak, the one that we didn't sign up for, but it's still extra money, so we'll take it. With that, all races of the season have finished. We just have some other matters administrative matters to handle. We have 15 million so far. We'll get some more millions from the monthly budgets, if you will, rising through the ranks on behalf of the board. I wanted to wish you an enthusiastic congratulations for your recent constructors finish. It is wonderful to see Aston Martin rising up through the ranks. Needless to say, this has given us a great boost in confidence regarding your abilities as team principal. We're happy to have you on board. Let's hope that we can keep this going next season. The board review, high confidence. Yes, the high confidence. Ian Gregg actually has points for us. We should probably switch him out next season, to be honest. Gonna give us a bit of a boost. He does have a fairly long contract though, and we do pay him a fairly high salary, all things considered. But we'll have to see how next season plays out with what we hire and what we do not hire. Part development is now locked. Can't assign new parts. Makes sense. And Michael Loom. Oh, I thought that was the headline for a second. The season results. Ferrari 1-2 in the championship. Verstappen 3rd with Perez 4th. Ferrari beating Red Bull by almost 200 points. Mercedes 3rd here with the 300. So, kind of what you expected, really. Williams with no points. Haas with 18. Baron with 28. Us with 47 is probably unexpected, to be fair. And the board was very happy with the result in Yas Marina Circuit. We did not score points in 50% of the season races, but that is for 24. So we have still 2 seasons to get it done. No worries there. We actually lost team rating. Okay. It would seem that by my team rating from drivers, I didn't realize Stroll was this highly rated by the everythings. I haven't actually handled pit crew too much this season, which we should probably fix. We are losing some pit performance, but that's just how things are. Can live with that. Regulation changes is cost cap and of course the technical specification for the front and rear wing, which could actually help us out a bit. Safety sim has been completely upgraded. Good. Staff changes. We have all the staff is staying with us. Don't need to worry about that. Drivers are also all staying with us. Don't need to worry about that. And the CFD sim upgrade has been completed. So everything's looking good. Let's just continue to the end of December. And we should have all 3 projects finishing here at once, really. Which would be interesting. There we are. Sidepod project has finished. Idle engineers. Well, that's on purpose. Boardroom import condition. Again, this is one of the things I don't really am too worried about. The team attractiveness, race confidence gain. It's nice to have, but not critical. So I can live with that. Gain a little bit here, as you can see. A little bit in cooling, drag reduction, and airflow front and airflow middle. Airflow middle. Front wing and rear wing should now be coming through. And with that, we should have a fairly decent car in terms of expectations for next year. Drag reduction is 70% now for the rear one. So it's looking good. These are stats though. I believe I still have, it's not my expertise. My expertise should be a little bit lower, honestly. But we'll have to see here also in terms of what staff could potentially be willing to move to us here. As you can see, currently we have Resta here, potentially. Who isn't actually a bad choice, and he is a free agent. should have scouted you really, but I wonder if you are better. We'll consider that at the start of the next episode. But we do have, let's see here, Tondi. This man is open to negotiations. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna break the bank, I think. I think we'll pick up Resta and Tondi next time because he's open to negotiations. So as you can see, unless you're planning to poach from other teams, team attractiveness, not really a big concern. And what we could also have a look at here, if we really want to, out of curiosity, is drivers. Do we have any drivers here? Gasly is a free agent. It could potentially be picked up. I don't really know his stats, but I think it'd be a good choice for most teams. So, yeah, at the end of the season, you can have some really funny and honestly hilarious interactions here. We can push out our technical chief here, who's 78, with Tondi, who is 91 average, which would boost all assets of a car quite significantly. We can also get our head of aerodynamics, 65 for Resta, which is 81. So, or is it the other way around? I think they're the other way around. Technical chief, let's just check here. They are the other way around. Resta as technical chief and Tondi as aerodynamics is, it's still 65 to 91. You can imagine the upgrade itself. So we will try and snatch this man at the start of next season. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. And I hope to see you again soon. There will be a stream on Friday or later today. Maybe even Saturday and Sunday. So keep an eye out for them. I'll be streaming it on YouTube just to make things easy. Have everything in one place. The VODs will be available at the end of the streams. I'll have them on my channel. Plan is to stream some the McLaren run that I promised, but never didn't really get to. Been focusing a bit too much here on Aston Martin, but also Williams. I was thinking that Williams was probably at close to the end, but it just keeps on coming back to me with more things we can do. So that's that really. But again, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I do hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.